Okay, we'll chant Om 3 times, followed by the invocation shlokas. Please sit erect, close your eyes, and inhale deeply. Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. So, we're covering Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7. Actually, we did up to verse 5 in the last session. I think like during last academic year, but what we will do is that we will restart just because it's a while and for the sake of continuity. Okay. So in terms of Gita, just because as we are starting fresh, okay, not the whole Gita, but because we are starting Gita chapter 6 very freshly, right? So let us understand what is happening in Bhagavad Gita. As you know, from a story perspective, there's a Mahabharata war, and in the war, when the war is about to begin, Arjuna got cold feet. Because Arjuna got cold feet, he wanted to run away from war. Now, why did he get a cold feet? Because he saw the other side of the army. He's not worried about the size of the army or the strength of the other army or anything like that. But he was concerned about killing his own people, especially the ones whom he loved dearly, such as Bhishma, who is his grandfather, as well as Drona, who is his teacher. So this was a primary concern for him. Now, the challenge that Arjuna faced is a challenge that we all face as well. Not like, okay, not that like we are warriors and we need to kill our family members or our teachers or something like that. No. Rather, what happened is that when Arjuna went to the war, he went there as a soldier. Once he put his feet in the war, what happened is that his personal identity has come forth as opposed to his duty. What is his personal identity? That I am Arjuna. These people are my people. Okay. If if there was no Drona or Bhishma in there, if it is just Duryodhana and Karna, he wouldn't have had this kind of a challenge. So it is not about killing either. The issue is not about killing either, but the issue is about hurting someone on the other side who whom we love, even though they are standing on the bad side. Now, so if you look at that way, these are the way the situations that we face is that whether we are at work or even at home, when people are on the wrong side, do we need to correct them or not? Okay. Do I need to do my duty or not? What is the role of my likes and dislikes? Okay. In performance of my duties. So these are the challenges. Okay. So because of that, see, the Bhagavad Gita has become very necessary for all of us. It is related to all of us. Why? In performance of my duty, how should I perform my duty? Okay, that is a basic question of Arjuna. However, when he asked this question to Lord Sri Krishna, he simply did not ask, oh, by the way, please tell me about what should I do? No. He specifically asked, especially in chapter 2, okay, whatever is Param Nishreyas, that's what you need to tell me. This Param Nishreyas is a very powerful word where it says that it is Nishreyas means extremely good and perfectly good in such a manner that it is not just good for me, but it is good for everybody. Okay, so that Paramanishayas, when that question was asked, now the question was asked to Bhagwan himself. So Bhagwan knows what is the extremely good for everyone. So that is when Bhagwan, Lord Krishna, started teaching Bhagavad Gita for Arjuna. And so there were, because Arjuna's question was that, what am I supposed to do? Okay. What is my real identity? It is the way Bhagavan has taken that is in a much more methodical, deep manner. What is this methodical, deep manner? For you to understand what you should do, first you need to understand who you are. Once you understand who you are, then your job description is clear. Okay. So now he could have simply said that Arjuna, you are a warrior and you came to fight. So your identity is as a warrior, you should fight. Instead, because Arjuna said, like, teach me the highest good, okay, he did not start that, okay, you are Arjuna. Rather, he said, you are the Atma or Brahman, because that is the real identity for all of us. Because Bhagavan has got into this level of depth, that is why this Bhagavad Gita becomes important for all of us, and it is applicable for all of us. Now, here, again, in this Bhagavad Gita, when Bhagavan has explained the Gita, he has explained the entire essence of all the Upanishads. Okay, so in our Hindu scriptures, we have 4 Vedas: Ruk, Yajur, Sama, and Atharva Vedas. Now, in all of these Vedas, there are Upanishads or Vedanta described across 108 known Upanishads. Okay, so Isha, Kena, Katha, Mandukya, Mundaka, like that. Like there are 108 Upanishads, and the essence of all those Upanishads is described in Bhagavad Gita. Now, the essence of this entire Upanishads is what it is saying is that simple. You and Brahman are one and the same. Okay, so that could be said as Aham Brahmasmi, or it could be Ayamatma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma, etc. But one of the most popular one among them is Tattvamasi. Tattvamasi means you are that. So where you means as an individual, Jiva, are same as That means in this case, that is referring to the one who is the supreme, which is Brahman. Okay, so you are that, this, tat, tvam, asi. Asi means are. Okay, tat means that, tvam means you. So it is said that this Tattvamasi is what is the essence of entire Hindu scriptures, and that is explained in this Bhagavad Gita also. Because Bhagavad Gita has got 18 different chapters, okay, and this Tat, Tvam, Asi are three words. So each word has been described in 6 chapters. So the first set of 6 chapters described Tvam, okay, Tvam pada lakshartha. That means that essence of the, so in Sanskritam there is a, so that Vachyartha and Lakshartha. Vachyartha means literal translation. Lakshartha means what is it implied, okay, implied meaning. The underlying meaning is Laksha Artha. Laksha means the goal, okay, understand the goal, okay. So for example, if we call someone like, he's slow, okay, he's slow means what? Okay, it depends upon the context. If the person is calling someone as a slow, it can mean that the second person, I mean that means that the person could be mentally slow, it could be physically slow. What is that? That is understood based upon the context. So here, that's what the Lakshartha is, needs to be understood based on the context. So the first set of 6 chapters talked about you. Okay. So how is that talked about you? In chapter 1, talked about the Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Vishada means sadness. But here, in chapter 1, interestingly, what happened was that there are 3 Vishadas. 3 people had Vishadas, not just Arjuna. Okay. One is Arjuna, the other is Duryodhana, and then third one is Dhritarashtra. Okay. So when chapter 1 started, Dhritarashtra was one who is concerned about what was happening in the war because he heard that Bhishma is dead. And then he never spoke afterwards. Okay. And Sanjay started narrating the entire Bhagavad Gita. So he's the first. He asked, why did he ask that question? Because he wanted Kauravas to win, and the most formidable commander of chief, okay, Bhishma has fell down. So he's worried that they are going to lose. So there is a sadness in Duryodhana. Sorry, in Dhritarashtra. Then as soon as the story starts, I think like the Bhagavad Gita starts, you notice that Duryodhana goes and start blabbering to Drona about how Bhishma has to be protected, why there are only few people on his side versus so many people on the other side, etc. So that means that there is a sadness in him also. And then, of course, Arjuna is also sad. But it is titled only for Arjuna, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. It is not called as Dhritarashtra Vishada Yoga or Duryodhana Vishada Yoga. Why? Because Dhritarashtra there is representing tamasic nature, tamas. Okay. So his Vishada is only because there's nothing that he can do. Even when he had an option to fix so many things, he never fixed anything. So that is a tamasic Vishada or the tamas based or the inertness, the laziness based sadness is no good. Now Duryodhana is representing the rajas in us. When a rajasika Vishada is there, okay, you did something and you came to here, okay, you are facing the consequences. So when we do bad things and then when we face consequences and we get worried about it, has no meaning about it. Now Arjuna's Vishada, on the other hand, is based on Sattva Guna. Why? He wants, even when he is confused, he wants what is better for everybody. Okay. Even in that confusion, he knew that, I mean, like he was concerned about like killing his people, etc. That one part. And even in that confusion, he knew who to approach. Okay. And he not only he approached, okay, Lord Krishna and asked him to guide him to the right way. Okay. Duryodhana, when Dhritarashtra didn't even ask Sanjaya what he should do or anything like that. Okay. He just asked a question, what is happening? And he just sat. In case of Duryodhana, when he went to Drona, he didn't ask Drona because Drona is a high level person, like his guru. He didn't go do pranams to him and say, Drona Acharyaji, please tell me how to fight this war and how can we effectively win this war. Rather, he starts barking commands at Drona, who is much higher than him. So this is how the Rajasic person behaved. And Sattvic person surrendered to God and said, like, please guide me through to do the right thing. So that is why it is called as Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Then Bhagavan has started trying to tell who we really are. Okay, in Sankhya Yoga, in chapter 2. Once that is said, okay, what is our essential nature, which is Brahman alone, how do we get there, is described in chapter 3, Karma Yoga. Essentially, we have to purify our mind. For us, the purification of mind is called Chitta Shuddhi. To purify our mind, what we need to do is perform Karma Yoga. The performance of Karma Yoga means what? You must perform only your duties. Don't be concerned about fulfilling your desires, because desires means there are likes and dislikes. In performance of likes, sometimes even if it is not right thing, we tend to do that and we are going to, we may break the dharma. Okay. And similarly, when to avoid doing anything that we dislike, we may still break dharma. So drop off our likes and dislikes. Okay. Drop off our desire-based actions. So obviously, like, you should not do anything that is illegal or immoral and perform only your duties. That is the first part of Karma Yoga. Second part is that when we perform this Karma Yoga, understand that the results are not necessarily in our hands. So don't let the desires be the reason why you're performing the action. Okay. So results will come. How it will come, I don't know. So don't get attached to results. And understand that anything and everything that I am doing is for my purification of my mind. So offer everything that I do to Bhagwan alone. And whatever comes, whatever result comes, the prasada buddhi. So the third one is called Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. And the third one, the final one is prasada buddhi. So that means that whatever comes from Bhagwan, that is his prasada. Whatever result comes, I take it as prasada from Bhagwan. So these are the 4 aspects of Karma Yoga. So that Karma Yoga is described, and in terms of how it has to be done, etc., all of that is described in chapter 3. Now, the purpose of Karma Yoga is what? Chitta Shuddhi, purification of mind. Purification of mind helps to gain knowledge. Okay. When mind is not purified, can't we gain knowledge? Yes and no. Okay. For example, when your mind is not purified, that means what? We have too many thoughts. Now, someone, okay, like say for example, if Bhagwan Krishna is speaking, and if the mind is filled with so many questions, doubts, and like, oh, I need to do that, I need to do this, etc., all of those things are there, we cannot really focus on the speaker. Okay, that is part 1. Now, whereas this knowledge of Vedanta is so subtle, and we will miss the import and implications of each and every syllable that the Guru, like Bhagavan Krishna, has uttered. So that is why we need to do the Chitta Shuddhi. Now, Chitta Shuddhi, or cleansing of mind, is only like checking tires before you start driving on a long journey. Okay, so obviously, if any of your tire has if your car tires has not enough air, you cannot drive. Okay, but just because you filled all your tires, they are full, doesn't mean that the driving has started. Okay, so the next step is that I need to know the direction to which where I must go. Okay, if I had to go to New York, should I go north or should I go south? Okay, so the direction has to be understood. The direction is called jnana. Okay, so that jnana is taught in chapter 4. Okay, about the nature of what we need to achieve. So that is where we see a shloka like Brahmarpanam Brahmahavi Brahmagno Brahmanahutam Brahmaivatena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. So what it is saying is that the nature of Brahman was explained a little bit in chapter 4, along with various practices. Now, in chapter 3, Karma Yoga, what happened? What was the advice that is given? Don't get attached to the result of your action. Karma phala tyaga. Okay. So whatever result comes, drop it. Okay. Understand that whatever result comes is just Bhagwan's prasada. Okay. I have nothing to do with the result. That kind of a thing must be there. Now, when this knowledge is, once we start practicing Karma Yoga, and this jnana has come a little bit, then what happens is that the idea in this knowledge, what is the knowledge? Brahman is everything. If Brahman is everything, who am I? I am nothing. I am nothing in the sense either I am Brahman or I am nothing other than Brahman. Okay. So in chapter 5, what is said is you do karma tyaga. Meaning what? Renounce action itself. Renounce action, like the moment you say renounce action, the simple translation means that, okay, I don't have to do anything. Okay, stop doing everything. But chapter 5, it is not like that. Don't do anything. Remove the notion that you are doing something. Okay, because you as an individual don't have an individual identity other than Bhagavan alone. Because of that, don't ever think that, okay, Venkat, as Venkat, I am doing this, as Venkat, I am doing that, as Venkat, I am enjoying this, as Venkat, I am suffering from this. That kind of like, that thought is there, right? I am doing, I am suffering, I am enjoying. That kartrutva, bhokrutva bhavana has to be gone. Okay, so that is what chapter 5 was giving. It is karma tyaga. Now, as we are getting rid of that, I am the doer, I have an individual identity, that notion is to be eliminated. By merely doing that is not enough. Rather, you also must dwell on it, because we have gone through, as human beings, we have gone through a series of lives. Okay, so how many lives we have been like so far, whether we took millions of lives, billions of lives. Okay, so the simple word is countless number of lives. Okay, from the beginning of the time till now, okay, we have taken countless births. And in all these births, our behavior, whether like as an insect or a tree or a animal or a human, we have behaved based on the idea that I am this body. So all of those thoughts are still there. All those vasanas are still there in our mind that I am this body. So this new knowledge that we got, that I am Brahman, okay, is very small and very brand new compared to all those vasanas that are there from we accumulated from millions or billions or trillions of years. So this knowledge that we acquired cannot be there at a surface level, but it has to percolate very deep into our psyche. So that can be done through dhyana. Okay, so the dhyana yoga, how to perform how to do this meditation, etc., that is described in chapter 6. Now, so after attaining jnana and doing karma, so first chitta shuddhi, which is done through karma phala tyaga. then attain jnana. After attaining jnana, okay, you practice and remove the identity with yourself. The jivatva itself, identity lose. And because there are obstacles to get rid of this jivatva, perform the dhyana, do the dhyana. So that way, like, so this is where like you get jivan mukti. This is the entire idea of first set of 6 chapters. Now, interestingly, in at the end of chapter 6, one has said something interesting. Okay, what he said is that uh, um, so in the very last shloka of chapter 6, he said, Yogi namapi sarvesham matkaten antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yah mam same yuktatamah mataha. So that means among all the yogis, okay, one who has full faith and he merged in me and he worships with me is the best. So here again, when he's saying me means Bhagavan Lord Krishna. Bhagavan Lord Krishna as like, again, don't think that when we think about Lord Krishna, don't think that Lord Krishna as only the one who has a flute and with a peacock in his crown. Not like that, but understand that Krishna is representing entire Brahman. Okay, is the visual aspect, visualized Brahman. So that means Saguna, Akara, Brahman. Okay, so that's the idea, right? So what he's saying that when a yogi merges, okay, thinks about me, so that means that when a yogi thinks about Brahman, okay. So now, what is this nature of Brahman? Who is this Brahman? Okay, what is this nature of God? And he said, Matgatena Antaratmana. So gati means goal. Okay, gati means goal. Okay, how do I get to him? Okay, how can I unite with this Lord? So all these questions come. Okay, and because Bhagavan he himself uttered this word Matgatena, okay, taking refuge in me, uh, thinking that I am the goal, as Bhagavan as the goal. So far, all the discussion was about me as an individual. Now suddenly Bhagavan has shifted from as individual to the nature of the Lord. So that means, so then obviously he has to describe who this Lord is, what is the nature of Lord, etc. So that means, remember, like we said, Tattvamasi Mahavakya, Tvam Pada Lakshartha, the meaning of Tvam is given in detailed in first set of 6 chapters. So now, starting from 7th through 12th, Bhagwan is going to talk about the nature of Lord. That means what? It is not just nature of Lord, but nature of everything that we see all around us is also talked in chapter 7 to 12. Okay, and of course, the Asi means you are that R means what? The equality, the sameness, the identity between Bhagwan and individual, Jiva, is elaborated between chapters 13 to 18. Okay. So with that, we'll start into chapter 7. So before we go there, because we have covered a lot of ground in past 30 minutes, does anyone have any questions? Okay, I take it as a no. So, we will chant the verse number 1 in chapter 7. Now, if one of you can go off mute and repeat after me, that would be great. Any volunteers? Okay,
I
ready.
can go.
So let me first break down the words. Okay. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Asakta Manaha. That is broken as Mai Asakta Manaha. So that is Mai Asakta Manaha becomes Maya Asakta Manaha. Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashraya. So that is Yunjan Mat Ashrayaha. Together they become Yunjan Madashrayaha. Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yatha Jnasyasi Tat Shrunu. That is Tat and Shrunu together becomes Tat Shrunu. Okay. Please repeat after me. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
Maya Sakta Manah Partha
Maya Sakta Mana Partha
Yogam Yunjan Madashrayah
Yogam Yunjan Madashraya
Asamshayam Samagram Mam
Asamchayam Samagra Manaha
Samagram Mam
Samagram Mam
Yadhajnasasi Tachrunu.
Yatagnyasasi Tashrunu.
Okay, so Yogam Yunjan. So that means what? Practicing. Okay, so Yunjan. Yoga means what? Yoga. Okay, and Yogam Yunjan means practicing and abiding in the yoga. And abiding in the yoga. So again, like, what does yoga mean? Yoga means union. Union with what? Higher. Union with higher. So who is uniting with who? Okay. What is the lower here? What is the higher there? Okay. So yoga, union of lower with higher. The union of lower is our BMI complex, especially mind and intellect. So that means that our thoughts, our mind, our intellect, all of them, our ahankara, right? Mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, all of that should be united with something that higher. What is that? Bhagwan alone. Okay. So that when that union happens, like when we are trying to unite our Maya, this Mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara or antakarana with Bhagwan, then that is called as yoga. And when we are successful, that is yoga. Okay, so this yogam yunjan means practicing and abiding in this yoga, wanting to seek fulfillment in here. Okay, so that means that seeking to be devoted to the yoga. Okay, and in this yoga, again, there are like different types of yogas. Okay, so we saw karma yoga. In fact, like all the chapters of Gita have all the chapter names end with yoga, right? Arjuna Vishada Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, Karma Sannyasa Yoga, like that, right? So, Karma Yoga is means to gain Chitta Shuddhi, right? And Jnana Yoga, and that, and in chapter 6, what we study is that with Karma Yoga, one will gain Chitta Shuddhi, and with that, with Jnana Yoga, they will gain Shamaha. Shamaha is, okay, peace of mind. Peace of mind is not like a simple peace of mind. Rather, mind is in its natural state, okay, which is none other than the mukti alone. Okay. So this yoga engine, mat ashrayaha. Okay. So here there are like two words that are used. One is madashrayaha. Okay. Maya asakta manaha. Yunjan madashrayaha. Madashrayaha is the last word in first line, and Maya asakta manaha is first word. Okay. So Mai asakta manaha mat ashrayaha. So this asakta manaha and this ashraya, these two are interesting words. Okay. Ashraya means taking refuge. Okay. Refuge in Lord. Okay. So So how do we take refuge in Lord? Because Lord is everywhere. Lord is everywhere, so I take refuge in everything. Is that what it is? I cannot take refuge in everything that I see outside, but I also know that Lord is right within me. If Lord is right within me, I must take refuge in me alone. In me alone, when I take refuge in the Lord within me, what happens is our thoughts become, the speed of thoughts will become slowed down. Okay, the mind becomes purer and purer. The flow of thoughts becomes slower and slower, and then you get internal peace. Okay, so now that mat ashraya have. So we need to take support from this Sarvantaryami. Sarvantaryami means who is the inner propeller of all. Okay, and and understand that the Lord in me is going to take care of me and he will help gain this yoga union. Okay, and he is my only support. Okay? And Lord is the means to get to Lord. Okay? So in fact, Bhagavan Vishnumurti is called as Narayana. Okay. Now Narayana means Nara. Nara's Ayanam is Narayana. Now, did you hear this Ayana name somewhere else before? The term Ayana, anywhere, like, something very popular you probably heard.
Uttarayana, Dakshinayana.
Uttarayana, Dakshinayana, much more popular. They're also good. Yeah, Uttarayana, Dakshinayana are also good. So Uttarayana means the path of northerly direction. Dakshinayana means path of southerly direction. And Ramayana is the path is taken by Rama. Okay. So Ayana means path, that means journey. So now Narayana is the journey of Nara. And what is the goal of this journey is again Narayana. So not only he is the journey, but he is the goal. Okay. He is, Narayana represents, he is the goal, he is the journey. So the idea that I want to reach Bhagwan is also Bhagwan because Bhagwan is already here. The path that I'm taking to reach Bhagwan, every activity that I'm going to do, I'm performing to reach Bhagwan is also Bhagwan. Okay, that is the beauty of the word Narayana. Okay, so that Narayana, okay, is my support. That is the idea. Mat ashraya. Mai asakta manaha. Mai means in me. Asakta manaha. You should have interest. Okay. Interest in me means what? Why? If I take refuge in him, isn't that enough? Why this interest should be there? Okay. So the thing is that the challenge that we have on a day-to-day basis is, let us say, I mean, I probably quoted this example so many times, but I cannot think of any other example. Okay. Uh, so for example, meditation. We heard so much about meditation and I want to meditate twice a day. Okay? Meditation is going to help me a lot. So I have respect for meditation, quite a lot of respect. Okay. And I decide that starting tomorrow morning, I'll wake up at 5 and do half an hour meditation. That's all. Actually, not even 5. I'll wake up at 5:30. That's enough. Okay, 5:30 to 6. Okay, I will meditate and then I'll go rest. Go do whatever I want throughout the rest of the day. Okay. However, come next morning when the alarm rings at 5:30, I shut down the alarm. 5:45 again, I shut down. 6 o'clock also shut down, and I wake up at 7. And I feel sorry about it, and I again set the alarm for next day at 5:30, and the same story continues 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, 10 days. Afterwards, I just remove the 5:30 alarm because it is disturbing me unnecessarily. Okay. So what went wrong in this scenario? What went wrong is we had respect and reverence for yoga, but we did not have love or like for that. Okay. So having like is another thing and respect is another thing. So, for example, no matter where we are, no matter what we are doing, we always think about children. Why? Because the uh, we uh, we always think about our children simply because we love our children. We know Bhagavad Gita is very important. We know scriptures are very important, but we never think of those. Okay? Because there's a reverence for that, whereas there's a liking for our children. So that's what Bhagavan is saying. Not only reverence is important, but also liking should also be important. Okay? And how do we get liking for someone? Okay? So uh, about about 2018 or 19, that's when my wife and I started watching Korean drama. When we started watching Korean drama, we did not know anything about Korean actors or anything like that, right? So we saw this guy. Oh, who is this guy? He did a great job. Okay, what's his name? So then we Google. Oh, his name is so and so. Okay. So now let's go to Wikipedia and try to find out about what are the dramas did he do. Ah, okay. So let's watch another drama based on him. Oh, let's do the third one. Let us understand where is he born, what did he do, etc. Right? So then you start getting you're doing more and more research about him. You're doing more and more uh, learning more and more about him. The more you learn, the more you like. Okay, and suddenly by end of a year or two, we have list of actors we like, list of actors we don't like, the type of shows we want to watch, the type of shows we don't want to watch. All of that happened within a couple of years. Okay, why? So the liking has come from knowing, not only knowing but reveling. Okay, reveling means what? Like watching again and again. I mean, not again and again, like watching different shows by the same person. Okay, so now how do we start liking Bhagavan? Okay, so now let's apply that to Bhagavan. But how do we uh, start liking Bhagavan is by listening to his glories. Okay, and so glories means in terms of guna, in terms of tattva, mahatva, okay, all of that. And then enjoying them, okay, by reading Ramayana or Bhagavatam or Mahabharata or whatever, right? So whichever scripture that you're reading, and like as you try to understand Bhagwan, okay, so that's one way, or even Vedanta also. Okay, we can also learn about the Lord through Vedanta also, right? Bhagavad Gita or any other scriptures. As we are studying more and more and learning more and more, our love and interest for Bhagwan also goes higher. So this Ashraya, Mat Ashraya, and Mai Asakta Manaha. Okay. So these two are required, okay, for the yoga. Okay. And this nature of mind, okay, here the mind means here it is the Lord is talking, right? Okay. This nature of mind, Mam, okay, Asamshayam, without any doubt, Samagram. Samagram means comprehensively, okay, comprehensively, completely, without you having any question, meaning like, okay, there's no more questions are left after Bhagavan is going to give the description about the nature of the Lord. Yatha jnasasi tat shrunu. Okay, so Yathajnasasi, as it is said, okay, know the Lord, okay, tat shrunu, okay, that listen, that you listen. Okay, so that means what he's saying is that as I'm telling, you understand in such a manner, okay, and you know about me, okay, and what are the, and this will help. Why do I need to listen? That way, you you can become one with me. Yogam yunjan. Okay. And what are the prerequisites? The maya saktaha manaha, maya sakta manaha, meaning mind is reveling in me, and mat ashrayaha. So you're taking refuge in me. So that means as a student, my prerequisite is taking refuge in the Lord and taking interest in Lord. Okay. And when I have these two, Bhagavan is giving the nature of Lord completely without leaving any room for any question. Okay. So that is what Bhagavan is doing. Okay. So this is what we call as actually like this and the next shloka together are called as Pratignya Vakya. Pratignya Vakya means telling what they are going to do. Okay, so we say right, the in any teaching there are three aspects. One is any good teacher, he tells what he's going to say, and then he says that, and he tells what he just said. Right? That is like, I'm introducing this topic to you. Here is this topic. Describe the entire thing. And then what we just discussed is, and then he summarizes and concludes the topic. Right? So this introducing the topic is called as Pratignya Vakya. Okay. Any questions on Shloka number 1 before we get into Shloka 2? So someone else want to go off mute and repeat the Shloka number 2 after me?
Yep, I can do that.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so it is. First, we'll break each word. Okay, Jnanam. Okay, Teham. Actually, it is Te Aham. Okay, so that is Teham. Sa Vijnanam
Vijnanam
Idam
idam
Vakshyami
akshami
Asheshataha.
asheshataha.
So this Vakshyami and Asheshataha together become Vakshyam Yasheshataha. Okay.
Okay.
Yat
Yet
Jnatva,
natva
that together become Yajnatva.
yagnatva
Okay. And then there's Neha, right? That is Na plus Iha together become Neha.
ega.
Okay. So then the next word is Bhuyo Nyajnatva, sorry, Bhuyo Nyajnatva Mavashishyate. So that is, there are like many words here. Bhuyaha
Bhuyaga
Anyat
anyat
Jnatavyam
natyam
Avashishyate.
avashishyate.
Okay. So they become Bhuyo Nyajnatyam Avashishyate. Okay. So Jnanam Teham Savijnanam
Jnanam tegam savijnanam
Idam Vakshamya Sheshataha
idam bhakshyami sheshataha
Yajnatvane Yajnatvaneha Bhuyonyat
yajnat natvai nega bhuyognya
Jnatavyam Avashishyate.
नातव्यम avashishyate.
Okay. So here Now, in this sloka, what he's saying that Bhagwan is promising that he's going to give the complete knowledge, okay, with jnana and vijnana, okay, and he's also saying that this knowledge is enough, and you don't need any other knowledge other than this, okay. So that is the essential summary. So what he's saying is, aham te jnanam sa vijnanam asheshataha idam vakshami. This is a sentence. Okay. So there are like two sentences here. Okay. Sentence one, aham, meaning me, I. Okay. I means here who is talking? Bhagwan is talking. So when he, so aham means here I is Bhagwan. Okay. Te, to you. To you means to Arjuna. Okay. Now Arjuna is again like Arjuna has performed all his Karma Yoga properly, right, throughout his life, and he wants to know about the nature of Lord. So, who Arjuna is a mumukshu. So, to that mumukshu who is Arjuna, he is promising. What is he promising? That jnanam sa vijnanam. So, that is jnanam along with vijnanam. Okay. So, he is going to give the knowledge. Okay, so the knowledge, but knowledge about who? Knowledge about the Lord himself. Okay, so Bhagavan is saying that I'm going to give you the knowledge about myself. That is jnana. Then what is this vijnanam? Okay, sa here is along with. That's the understanding. Okay, so vijnanam, what is vijnanam here? Vijnanam means what happens is that, like, let us say, if I tell you that 5 plus 3 equals 8 to a child. Okay. If you say so, your teacher, my teacher, you said 5 plus 3 equals 8. So I'll memorize that 5 plus 3 equals 8. Okay. Because I know 5 plus 3 equals 8. Okay. That's all. That is the knowledge. But if you show to, if you teach the student that, see here, there are 5 rocks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I am putting 3 more rocks. Okay. So now we put all these rocks together. Now let us count all these rocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many rocks are there? 8. So when we added 3 rocks to 5 rocks, what happened? It is 8. So this is a experiential knowledge. So now the student is not just believing 5 plus 3 equals 8 because the teacher said, but it is his personal direct experience. This direct personal experience is called as Vijnanam. Okay, so it is called as Anubhava Samyukta Jnanam is Vijnanam. Okay, and this Anubhava Samyukta Jnanam, okay, and Vijnanam, and that can be experienced as Idam. Okay, Idam means this. Okay, so now what is this? Idam is referring to what Lord is going to teach. That is one, and it is also referring to the knowledge about Lord. Okay, Asheshataha. Asheshataha means Shesham. Sheshata means there is some leftover. Okay, Asheshataha means there's no leftover. So that means that it is comprehensive and complete. Vakshyami. Kshami means I am going to teach. Okay, so because Lord has promised that He's going to give jnana and vijnana, this chapter is called as Jnana Vijnana Yoga. That is the name of this chapter. Chapter 7 is called as Jnana Vijnana Yoga because God has promised that He's going to teach Jnana and Vijnana. So, like God has promised to teach in Shloka number 2, that means what? He's going to do that from Shloka 3 to the rest of the chapter. Right? So we can be assured of that. Okay. Now, this is one sentence I said, right? Aham te jnanam Savijnanam asheshata idam vakshami, that is one sentence. Now, the second sentence, which is actually coming from the second line, is what? Yajnatva neha bhuyonyat jnatavyam avashishyate. Okay, so yajnatva neha. Neha, I also said, right? Na iha, right? So iha means what? About this. About this means what? About this path to moksha. Okay, so that's what this iha here means. Okay, this about this moksha sadhana. Okay, about this moksha sadhana, the way to get liberated, yat jnatva, meaning knowing this knowledge, jnatavyam, okay, anyat na avashishyate. Okay, so jnatavya means that needs to be known, anyat, something else, na, no, avashishyate means remains. So jnatavyam anyat na avashishyate means what? There's nothing else to gain or learn anymore. Okay, ज्ञात्वा न हि भूयः अन्यत् ज्ञातव्यम् अवशिष्यते. यथा ज्ञास्यसि, यथा ज्ञास्यसि तत् शृणु. He said, no, no, यथा ज्ञास्यसि तत् शृणु. No, that did not come. Okay. So what he's saying that Bhagavan is saying that, okay, after I teach this, you don't need to learn anything anymore. Okay, and condition to gain this knowledge is Yogam Yunjan. Okay, you have to put our effort in yoga. With how? Taking refuge in Lord, Madashayaha, and with our heart reveling in the Lord. Okay, so these are, so God is going to teach something, but I should be ready to learn. Okay, so there are certain prerequisites from my side. What is it? I should put my effort in yoga. So here yoga means Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, or both of them. Okay, Karma Yoga means because my mind is not pure yet, my mind has still impurities, I must continue to do Karma Yoga to gain Chitta Shuddhi, and then I also should try to get Shamaha, means peace of mind through Dhyana. Okay, so these two I should put effort in. How? By taking refuge in Bhagwan, and my heart should be reveling in Bhagwan. So this is from my side. And then what is Bhagwan promising? You don't have to learn anything more. Okay? And he is going to teach this knowledge with experience. So that Vijnana and Jnana. Okay? So this, okay, this what happens is that, in fact, like there's a Upanishad called Mundak Upanishad. Okay, remember, like I was telling, like we have about 108 Upanishads. Of those, 10 Upanishads are called primary Upanishads or major Upanishads. That's another term that is used in English. But major is actually a misleading word, because once you say major, other means minor. But what these 10 Upanishads are those set of 10 Upanishads that are used by sage Vedavyasa to write Brahma Sutras. And because sage Vedavyasa wrote Brahma Sutras based on these 10 Upanishads, Adi Shankaracharya ji later wrote commentary on only these 10 Upanishads. Okay? So that's why these 10 Upanishads are called Mukhya Upanishads or major Upanishads or primary Upanishads, whatever the term. Mundaka is one of those Upanishads, Mundaka Upanishad. And in there, the student approaches the teacher and he asks a question like, teach me, okay? So the student name is Shaunaka. He reaches his teacher and asks him, okay, teach me that knowing which everything is known. Okay. And then of course the teacher teaches. Now, here Bhagwan is saying that I'm going to teach Jnana and Vijnana, knowing which you don't need to know anything. So what is or correlation between these two. This can be thought as summarizing, this chapter can be thought as summarizing the essence of Mundaka Upanishad. Is one takeaway. Okay. So, because remember, like Bhagavad Gita is essence of all Upanishads. That's what we said, right? So, this contains lot of the content of Mundaka Upanishad. That is one take. Now, the other thing is that, like, wait a minute. Did Mundaka Upanishad come first or Bhagavad Gita come first? Mundaka Upanishad came first. If so, Bhagwan is cheating. Right? No, not cheating. What is the term? Plagiarizing. Okay, none of this is true. I mean, like, none of them is like original knowledge. But Bhagwan said in chapter 4 that this knowledge has been given in the past to Surya Bhagwan. And then, like, he gave the lineage of this knowledge, and this knowledge has been lost over a period of time. So he's giving this knowledge again. So Vedas are considered apaurishaya, means not written by any human. So that means what? If nobody has written these Vedas, but they are still there, that means what? That is Bhagwan's only. So Bhagwan's only is telling once again. Okay. So in a different manner, in a different yuga, to a different student. That's all it is. Okay. So there is no such thing as one plagiarizing it. All he is doing is that he is telling the same truth once again to another jiva. That's all. Okay. So we will pause here and see if you have any questions. On either shloka 1 or 2 or anything that we covered today.
Yes, Venkat. So Jnana, Vijnana. So once I'm a little confused here with the concept that teaching Vijnana, right? So we are saying Vijnana is experienced knowledge, right? So is it teaching how to get there, to get the union between the individual and the Brahman, or is it so somebody Vijnani is somebody who already achieved that? Then is it something that is, I mean, we can tell the path, but experiencing it, it's not something that you teach, is it?
Right. Perfect question. Yeah. So what happens is that when Bhagwan is saying that how can Vijnana be taught? Because this jnana, like what Bhagwan is saying is that this jnana is going to be taught in such a way that the audience can gain Vijnana as well so easily from this jnana that there is not a huge gap between jnana and Vijnana. Okay. So the teaching is provided in such a way that it can become your experiential wisdom, whatever the knowledge has been given, if you put the right effort right away. Okay, so that is the meaning of that. Thanks, Pawan.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
So any other question? No? So then we'll close. पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम।